Saints Falcons hate week 18 preview. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not even going to do an actual preview on this game. I'll tell you what it's going to take for the Saints to make the playoffs and really how I feel about whether if we win or lose this game. To make the playoffs, the Saints need to beat the Falcons to have a shot at anything. If they lose on Sunday in week 18, then that's that. But in order to win the division, they're going to need Carolina to upset Tampa, which is going to be very tough. And if that doesn't work, then they're going to have to hope that the Cardinals and the Bears pull off upsets. The Cardinals would have to beat the Seahawks. Excuse me. And the Bears would have to beat the Packers, both of which I kind of think are possible, but it's going to be a tall task. I would rather just have Carolina upset Tampa rather than to have to bank on two other games, but it's all an uphill battle. The easiest part is going to be beating Atlanta. And even then, we hate these guys. They embarrassed us back when we played, and I watched Derek Carr throw a pick six after paying all that money to go and sit in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Now, the Saints can either get to the division after the first round of games, or they'll have to wait and see what happens in the late games on Sunday night. If New Orleans does win the division, they'll host a wild card game to, the Cowboys or the Eagles. If they get in as a wild card, they'll have to travel to Dallas, Philadelphia, or Detroit. Call me crazy, but all three of these teams are beatable. Dallas, Detroit, and Philadelphia. Will the Saints make it possible to win these games? Probably not. But we've seen the Eagles are the most beatable team out of all three. Detroit, the second most beatable, and then Dallas as well. Dallas is by far the best team out of those three. They're the strongest. Dallas would be the last one that I would want to see. Cam Jordan didn't need a new deal. Yeah, Cam Jordan did not need a new deal at all. We did that out of respect as a veteran because he's probably going to retire after the next couple years. But all three of these teams are beatable. The Saints won't make them beatable. The Saints won't rise to the occasion with Pete Carmichael and Derek Carr and that defense that's been, 6-8 down the stretch ever since starting the first two games of the year, winning undefeated. But this is genuinely the first time all season that I'm going to be happy whether we win or lose. And let me tell you why. Because if we win, we have a chance to make the postseason, host a playoff game. I'm never going to be mad about going to the playoffs with a chance to win the Super Bowl. Are we going to win the Super Bowl? No. But if you go to the playoffs, you technically always do have a chance. Say what you want. And host a playoff game. It'd be kind of crazy as a 9-8 football team to have the 12-win Dallas Cowboys or the 12-win Philadelphia Eagles come in and play us, because I'm confident against just about any team in the NFL in that dome. Are we going to make it look pretty? Are you going to want to pull your hair out? Respectively, no and yes. But there's always a chance to win. It's any given Sunday for a reason. So I'm never going to be upset about my team having that opportunity. Maybe win, probably lose that game. But if we lose, we miss the playoffs. Dennis Allen continues to be playoffless with the Saints. There's more ammunition to fire him, and it won't give, again, like I was saying earlier, it won't give the Saints a chance to actually say, oh, okay, Derek Carr did play, or not Derek Carr, Dennis Allen did play better or coach better in that year. He did. Look, they made it to the playoffs, Miss Benson. Don't you see that? Don't you see? They did it. No. Absolutely not. It's not something that I'm interested in. I cannot wait for the Dennis Allen era to be over. And respectfully, I want to lose this game. Actually, I want to lose this game for draft position, more stains on Dennis Allen's career, record with the Saints, tenure. And when you make the playoffs, it knocks you further down in the draft to where you're going to have to offer more collateral to move all the way up. And offering more collateral to move all the way up is not necessarily a position the Saints are in. So if you're, 11th pick and you want to move up to the 4, okay, that sounds better than being the 18th to the 21st overall pick and still wanting to move up to number 5 or 6, because there's a very good chance that 5 of the first 6 players off the board, depending on how trades and everything go for draft night, which the draft's going to be here in 3.5 months, there's a very good chance that they're all going to be quarterbacks. If not, like I said, 5 of the 6 of them being quarterbacks, which the Saints have to go and grab. Did I mention that? Did I mention that the Saints have to draft a quarterback in the first round? Oh, okay. Just making sure. Just making sure we get the memo about that. But yeah, I think the Saints will win this game. I don't want the Saints to win this game, as I almost just said that I did want them to, because that's just me naturally as a fan. As a diehard, I want to see my team win. I think the Saints will win. It'll be ugly. It'll be scrappy. Hell, who knows? Maybe Derek Carr throws another pick six. Maybe we lose so convincingly, like 52-7, that the team just has no choice but to look at Dennis Allen and let him go. Because the Chargers had no problem doing it with Brandon Staley. The Raiders had no problem doing it with Lord. Why can I not remember his name? Raiders had no problem doing it with their head coach, Josh McDaniels. Broncos had no problem doing it with Nathaniel Hackett last year. The Jaguars had no problem doing it with Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer the year before. And guess what? All of those teams are better today. All of them. Jags are better with Doug Peterson. Broncos are better with Sean Payton. Raiders are better with Antonio Pierce. Chargers haven't been playing better, but it's also Easton Stick out there in place of Justin Herbert. But I do want to lose this game for draft position. I really do. I'm so ready for this era of Saints football to go. I've heard reports that the Saints treat this more like a family than they do business. And that's all fine and dandy. But again, they could not sit me down today and they could treat me to the finest A5 Wagyu with a 40-year-old bottle of wine and give me the best cheesecake possible with a lobster tail and some John butter. And they still couldn't convince me with all of that. They could lay it out any way they wanted to. They couldn't convince me that the Saints want to win football games right now. Not possible. Not possible at all.